What's up, guys? It's Eric from Rare Candy, and today we're back with the fourth and final round of the recent Standard Format League Challenge that myself and Marcus from the channel got to go attend. So here on the left, we have Dylan Bussert. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce his last name. If I'm butchering that, I do apologize, Dylan. And he's going to be playing Volcanion. And on the right, you actually have yours truly here playing Xerneas Break Giratina EX. So kind of an interesting matchup we have here. Both decks actually are kind of similar in a way. At first glance, you might not think so, but in terms of how they set up their board, I think both decks function very similarly. So, for example, the Volcanion deck has the regular Volcanion that attaches energy from the discard pile to bench Pokemon, and then it has the Volcanion EX as a main attacker. And then on the flip side, the Xerneas deck attaches energy from deck to bench Pokemon, and Giratina EX is kind of like your main hitter. So, and like I said, in terms of how they get set up, I think both decks kind of operate similarly. A couple of differentiating factors, though. The Baby Volcanion can actually do damage, though, as opposed to Xerneas, which doesn't do damage unless you evolve into Xerneas Break and you use its attack instead. And then the Volcanion EX has one-hit knockout potential since it can boost its own damage output with its ability. Um, and whereas the Giratina EX doesn't take one-hit knockouts. So I think there's a couple things that might be in Dylan's favor for this matchup. But Giratina EX, if you can actually get it going quick enough, it can actually be a little bit annoying uh, for the Volcanion player here. Since Giratina EX, its attack does show off your opponent's, uh, was it stadiums, tools, and special energy. Dylan doesn't play any special energy since it's just an all fire deck. But if we can prevent him from playing his Scorched Earth or his Fighting Fury Belts and stuff like that, that could potentially be problematic since he probably relies on Scorched Earth to some degree for draw power and also for fighting Fury Belt just to help take knockouts easier and boost his HP of his Pokemon. So a couple of unique characteristics for both decks that set them apart. Um, but overall, I think they do run somewhat similarly here. So we'll just have to see how that pans out in this match. But I expect it to be pretty even. So we'll just have to see how this goes. And it looks like we are going to finally start the round. And I do get to go first, which is always a great thing. So it looks like have an Ultra Ball in hand, debating on what to get rid of for it. So it looks like eyeing down a Fairy Energy. That seems fine, especially since we can't attack with the Geomancy on this turn anyways. I'd imagine we want to save the Double Dragon Energy in hand. That way we can attach it to our Giratina EX. I would imagine we will probably do that. It is unfortunate we did discard a Versus Seeker with this Ultra Ball. That is not something you want to get rid of. But nevertheless, we probably have a different way to draw cards in hand if we are getting rid of the Versus Seeker so quickly. And here it looks like I am taking a little bit of time to go through my deck, but I'm probably just trying to check to see what we have in there, what is prized and what isn't. But I do see that Giratina EX on top of the deck there, so yep, that is what we are going to grab here. We have that Double Dragon Energy in hand, like I was saying, so we will be able to attach that, start powering up that Giratina, and if we can get Giratina attacking fairly quickly and shut off our opponent from playing things like Floatstones and Fighting Fury Belts, that'll definitely be a good thing. And we get a Fighting Fury Belt down on our Giratina, so that's good. Okay, so we're going to play Shaman, draw until we have 6 cards. We do have a Max Elixir in hand, so that'll be good. The thing is, we definitely want to be careful about benching multiple Shamans in this matchup here, just because Volcanion EX can very easily knock out Shamans. So hopefully we won't have to play down too many in this matchup. But here we're actually having a really good start there. We get Max Elixir working, starting to power up this Giratina, and looks like just a pass. So no supporter, that's the only downside. Dylan does have a Scorched Earth, so he's got to be happy about that. He will have a way to draw cards. He has a Shaman in hand, but he can't really draw many cards with it. So Dylan actually might be an equally as mediocre of a position as we are. So he's going to play Shaman Draw until he has 6. He just hit a Lysander, so maybe he can Lysander up our Shaman to prevent us from using Geomancy on the next turn. That's definitely a potential option for him. He might just want to save it till he can take a knockout. It's hard to say. So here it looks like he's just going to use Power Heater, Volcanions attack. It lets him attach a Fire Energy, I'm sorry, 2 Fire Energy, 1 to each of his bench Pokemon. And it also does 20 damage too. So we have Fairy Garden, we're going to get a Max Elixir. We do fail the Max Elixir, it's a little bit unfortunate, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Our opponent is having a little bit of a slow start as well. I'm not sure if we did have a supporter in hand or not, but hopefully we do to get out of this situation. Or at least a Fairy Energy to use Geomancy. That would be ideal here. Looks like I'm debating on something. I see we have an EXP share. I don't know if we need to play that down right away. But here it looks like I just have to pass. So that's definitely not good. And Dylan does draw an N. He probably is thinking hard about this. Okay, so he is going to play the N. He probably didn't want to play that just because he could probably see that I did not have a strong hand, but neither did he. So he needs to get set up as well. So no harm in playing the N, I guess. I think it's more important for him to actually get a board set up here. But hey, I'm definitely not going to complain about the N as well. Okay, so he does have a Flareon EX in hand. That could be an important card. That's actually a very good card in this matchup since Flareon can easily take one-hit knockouts since its attack is 50 plus 20 more for every fire energy attached. So with that in combination with Volcanion EX's ability to boost the damage of fire types, it can definitely knock out our Giratinas in one hit. So I think that definitely needs to be a card we should try to target down at some point. So it looks like Dylan's going to go for an Ultra Ball, grab himself a Volcanion EX here. So we can definitely see Dylan start to develop his board a little bit. Okay, and I'd imagine we'll see a Power Heater. Okay, first he's going to do Steam Up, boost Volcanion's attack power, and then use Power Heater to accelerate the energy back onto the field. So here, what do we have? Another Max Elixir. Okay, I believe, oh no, we whiffed a Max Elixir again. That's actually really unfortunate. So let's see what we can make happen here. We do have a Fairy Energy in hand, so that does mean we will be able to use Geomancy at the least. And here I'm just going to Sycamore, getting rid of what looks like a Versus Seeker and an N, I believe. Okay, so Trainer's Mail. There is an Ultra Ball there. We could maybe grab that potentially for a Xerneas Break on the following turn. Or for a Shaman if we have a bad hand, but hopefully we don't play down any more Shamans this game. I think that's an important thing here. Oh, but it looks like there is a Versus Seeker there, so we'll grab that. That way we can play a supporter on the next turn as well. So I imagine we would see this this EXP share come down. Yep. That way, if our active Xerneas gets knocked out, we will be able to siphon the energy from that and put it onto the bench Xerneas there. But here we're going to use Geomancy and get 2 Fairy Energies attached to 2 of our bench Pokemon here. So I'd imagine we'll probably see it come down on maybe the other Xerneas and maybe Giratina. The one nice thing about Xerneas Break is it will allow us to take one-hit knockouts. So yeah, it's definitely not a bad thing to have one of those on the board at some point. So here Dylan's going to use Scorched Earth, discard a Fire Energy to draw 2 cards. He does have a Float Stone, so looks like he's debating on where he wants to put that. He's going to opt to put it on the Volcanion EX since it does have 3 retreat. Okay, he does have another Volcanion EX in hand, so I'd imagine he'd probably want to bench that at some point too. So currently my Xerneas has 70 damage on it, which means he only has to do 60 to knock it out. So if he benches this other Volcanion like he does and use Steam Up twice, that's the name of Volcanion EX's ability, he will be able to actually knock out the Xerneas with the regular Volcanion's attack. So it looks like he's just debating on something, right? Okay, has to attach returns. So that's fine. And gonna put a Fighting Fury Belt on that Volcanion, and then use that Power Heater attack, like I was saying, to start powering up these other Volcanions. Okay, so it looks like I'm opting to promote the regular Xerneas here. That would probably mean I have a break, since that would be able to knock out this active Volcanion, if I'm not mistaken, because Xerneas break's attack is 20 times the number of energy on field. So it looks like 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Okay, yeah, so we do have enough energy to actually knock this out, which is fine. So you can kind of see what I mean by both these decks set up fairly similarly. The prize trade is kind of the same way here. We're both taking one prize knockouts on these kind of set up Pokemon that we're using to develop our board here. Okay, I do see a Lysander in hand. We definitely want that for the following turn. That way we can knock out a Shaman EX. And I definitely think Shaman knockouts are going to be especially important in this matchup, uh, especially on my side of the board, because it's very difficult to actually take one-hit knockouts otherwise. Um, Whereas Dylan's, it's much easier for these Volcanions and Flareons to knock out our EXs in one hit. So here we're going to use Live Stream for the knockout. And I would probably imagine we will see a knockout on this Xerneas break. He only has 150 hit points, and all he has to do is use one of Volcanion's Steam Up abilities and attack with it, and he will be able to knock it out. So he's going to play Professor's Letter. That way he will have an energy to attach to Volcanion, also one to use Steam Up with. But even if we have to just attack into this Volcanion EX, that will probably knock us out. Oh, it looks like he's actually going to go the route of the baby Volcanion, which that's okay by me. I would actually prefer to knock out another one of those, just because right now, if he attacks with just EXs the rest of the game, that will force us into a 7-prize game. But if he attacks with the baby Volcanion, it'll allow us to take 6 prizes. So 2 non-EX knockouts and then 2 EX knockouts. So kind of our path to victory, I think, is to knock out this Volcanion, a Shaman, and then we will probably at some point have to deal with one of these Volcanion EX as well. So he's going to end us. Unfortunately, he gets that Lysander out of hand, because I think even though Shaman is not a threat, I think we need to really just take that out, take those prizes, before he uses something like a Sky Return, or I don't know if he plays Parallel City in his list. That could also be a relevant card. So I'm just eager to take a knockout on that before that option potentially might get taken away. So here he's just going to do Steam Up, which is fine by me, or I'm sorry, Power Heater, because we can take another knockout here. And unfortunately, my hand is not that great. I don't believe I actually have a supporter there to work with. We do have an Ultra Ball, which can grab us a Shaman, but I don't know if I even really want want a Shaman here at this point. Um, if we get a double Dragon Energy and a Lysander, that would be actually perfect because we could Lysander up a Flareon EX or this Volcanion EX with the Floatstone as well. So ideally, we could get that even, like, so double Dragon Energy and Lysander. That's what we need here. We do have Lysander, but I don't think we had a double Dragon Energy, unfortunately. I think I may have seen a Fairy Energy, so that's actually kind of a big whiff here, because I would have actually preferred to knock out this Flareon or Volcanion. I completely forgot that we had enough energy on the field here if we had a double Dragon Energy to take a knockout on a attacker as opposed to Shaman. But it's not the end of the world just because we can go down to 4 prizes, but I'd prefer to take out an actual threat as opposed to this baby Volcanion. But Like I said, at least we are still on our path to victory. All we have to do now is take a knockout on a Shaman and then probably just one of these Volcanion EX, and we will be in good shape here. So it looks like he's going to do Steam Up and then use Energy Retrieval and attach to that benched Volcanion there. So maybe he's thinking about just attacking with that thing again. So here it looks like he's going to do Steam Up again. I think that's what he did. So he gets down a Fighting Fury Belt, and he's going to use Power Heater for the knockout. And this is actually kind of annoying because now we're back in that situation where we're forced into a 7 prize game. So we really need Lysander here to take a knockout on something. So we have Sycamore, we have Lysander. I think we just need to... Oh, do we not have an energy? That's the problem here. Yeah, that is truly depressing, I think. Um, yeah, so unfortunately, since we don't have an energy, that is going to force us into a 7 prize game, like I was saying. So one potential option is to, if we play a supporter like an N or a Sycamore or something like that, and get an energy and attach to this Xerneas on the bench, we can kind of do the same to our opponent and try to force them into a 7 prize game as well here. So here I'm just thinning out my deck, grabbing a Klefki since it's a completely dead card in this matchup. Just want to get it out of the deck, and we're going to play N here. Put us both down at 4 cards in hand. And this is kind of annoying. We hit double Dragon Energies now, which it's cool because we can actually attack, but again, I would have preferred a situation where we can force our opponent into a 7 prize game, but nevertheless, our Giratina EX has 210 hit points, so it's probably safe from being knocked out this turn as well. Yeah, so in order for our opponent to take a knockout here, he would need another Volcanion EX and 3 Fire Energy. So we'll see if he can actually pull that off. Let's see, and luckily we did lock his stadiums, so that means he won't be able to bump our Fairy Garden with that Scorched Earth he had. He does have Ultra Ball, and I do see 1 Fire Energy, so I'm not sure if he can pull it off or not, but... So he's going to play Trainer's Mail here. Going to grab, looks like a Pokemon Ranger. So that's kind of a nifty card. Clears all effects that are currently in play. So if he uses Volcanion EX's attack Volcanic Heat, it normally prevents him from attacking the next turn. But if you play Pokemon Ranger, you can clear that effect and just attack again. Okay, so he is going to play Ultra Ball, going to get rid of a Pokemon Ranger and another Ultra Ball. Going to grab himself the 3rd Volcanion EX. And he does have the 1 Fire Energy. Does he have any more? Oh, okay, this is actually problematic. He has an energy reset. It's not a card you see often. Let you pick up any amount of energy you have in play and put it back in your hand. So that's... Oh, well, he would also need an energy to retreat as well. So I think we're actually okay. This Volcanion will be able to do a decent amount of damage to us. It's going to do 110 for 1 energy, which is crazy. But at least we didn't get knocked out. So we do get a EXP share down on our Xerneas, so that's nice. We will be able to keep a little bit of our energy in play. And Dylan's just reminded me to discard that Klefki. It was attached as a tool to that Shaman. So let's see here. What's our course of action? So here we're going to Lysander. So our course of action, I think at this point, is to take the knockout on the Shaman. And then from there, all we have to do is take out 1 Volcanion EX and we have the game. And this Giratina does have 210 hit points, so again, our opponent would need a decent amount of cards to make this happen. Oh, and here he's going to go for the Lysander on the Shaman. And let's Let's see what happens here. We really just needed, so here we're just going to Chaos Wheel, and we needed an end there, but does, oh, he has Versus Seeker for Lysander for the game to just pull up our Shaman. But one thing I actually did not notice when we were playing this game, he actually would not have been able to take a knockout on the Shaman with this Volcanion, because Volcanion, his attack Volcanic Heat, like I said, prevents him from attacking again the next turn. So, to be fair, he does have another Volcanion he could have attacked with, but I don't remember if he actually officially declared his attack with this active one or not. So, in hindsight, this game could have potentially gone differently on a technicality. I don't really remember how it went, but we were just one energy short of being able to take a knockout. If we had gotten another Fairy Energy on our Xerneas break, we would have actually had enough energy on the field to take a knockout on this Volcanion EX he had. So definitely a super close game. I was a little bummed to lose that one because it was so close. But nevertheless, definitely an interesting matchup. Really close games are always fun to watch no matter what the outcome. But yeah, guys, that is going to be the last round of the League Challenge coverage from this League Challenge that we got to go to at least. So I hope you enjoy these. If you haven't checked out the other rounds, definitely be sure to do so. But as usual, guys, feel free to like and subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch over at rarecandytcg.com. We actually have a couple items on sale, so definitely go check it out if you want to help support the channel. But with that, I appreciate you watching, and we will see you for the next one, okay?